found most interesting today was a conversation about youth unemployment. It's a really critical issue across Yorkshire and Humber, and for rural communities to lose young people affects so many other things. So Involve Yorkshire and Humber will be really glad to work with colleagues in the rural community councils to try and tackle this question, and I hope today's made us know each other better, and so we'll be able to work together better.
Yes, I think one of the main priorities is actually the provision, certainly for Pub is a Hub, provision of rural services, and how can you support rural services in a different way. So obviously we look for good licensees that not only creates the services, creates the jobs, and it supports local suppliers. I think one of the fascinating things coming out of a discussion was also the importance that people place in terms of broadband, and that's the access for elderly people as well, not just young people who need it, but also the provision that we desperately need in terms of some form of entrance to employment or experiencing employment, particularly for young people. That's where we love pubs, because often a pub can employ 10 to 15 people. But I think what it does demonstrate today is how everybody with their own specialisms needs to work closer together, because in the way that rural services can collapse, if you take one out, it's the domino or the pick a stick effect of everything collapses. I'm not really sure what the reverse to a domino effect is, but if you start working on a few things, it builds it back up again. You can only do that if everybody really works together on it, on their specialisms, and pulls it all back so that you do have employment, you do have broadband, you do have provision of rural services, all trying to help each other.
I think one of the really interesting things today has been the extent to which all of us who are working in the rural economies have the same issues: affordable housing, young people and jobs, and connectivity, particularly broadband. And I think one of the most important messages to come out of today is that we have to get across to the country, to government, to MPs, to journalists, that we haven't got broadband in our deep rural areas. I think because the government's made the announcements that we're going to get it, everybody thinks we have got it, and you can go to all sorts of seminars on how to start a business up halfway up a mountain. Well, there's no point without broadband, and there's no immediate sign of deep rural in this country getting broadbanded. I think there's a campaigning issue here, and I think it's probably the single most important issue going forward.